And of course, lawyers for 6 Ghanaians demanding 15 million cedis compensation for election-related injuries and deaths say the state has taken too long to complete criminal probe. While 5 persons suffered various degrees of injuries and other losses live during violence at the Techiman South Constituency Collation Center, all 6 have either through their families or themselves sued the Inspector General of Police and the Attorney General, arguing the Election Security Task Force acted unprofessionally. Earlier, my colleague Erastus Asaridonko featured 3 of the 6 when he followed up to the Techiman South situation. Take a look.
Most parts of the Techiman South constituency were calm and peaceful on voting day. After polling station results had been declared, all roads led to this place, where the collation of results took place under the strict eye of the public. This is the Bono Champion Hall in the Techiman South constituency. This is where collation of electoral results happen. Throughout the night, supporters of both NDC and NPP kept vigil, observing collation of results. But the collation night will soon turn chaotic. Security agents fired warning shots to maintain calm as supporters of both parties fought and destroyed ballot boxes containing results from some polling stations. Alaji is an election observer.
Late hour, somewhere around 11:30 going to 12, there was an allegation that some boxes were coming. And some team youth were here protesting that those boxes shouldn't go into the collation center. So all of a sudden, there was a struggle. Others were like the boxes would come in, others were like the boxes would not come
between the NPP and NDC.
Between the NPP and the
supporters
NDC.
Who are outside.
Supporters who were outside. So there was a struggle, there was a fight, and there was even a gunshot that night.
Fired by who?
By the police, just to scare the supporters. So at the end, they fought and broke those boxes.
The ballot boxes?
Those ballot boxes. The papers were flying away everywhere.
December 8, 2020, a day after voting, was pregnant with expectations. Supporters of the NDC and NPP gathered outside the collation center in anticipation of who won.
The NDC supporters, their team inside the collation center was saying that they were not satisfied with those boxes or the results in those boxes. So it was like an argument back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until later in the evening when those results were added. NPP had 49,682, the parliamentary candidate, and the NDC parliamentary candidate had 49,205. And so immediately they shoot it out, the jubilation started. So the teaming youth of the NDC who were also standing here were angry. How comes? Because they know that they were trying to force in to the hall.
So they were here?
They were on the left here.
They were standing here?
Yes.
In their numbers?
In their numbers.
And they wanted to force their way into this hall?
Into the hall. And the NPP supporters too were also on the right. But the military and the police, they were in the middle, trying to protect the crowd not to move in.
Some accounts say party supporters started pelting stones at the security personnel. Others also say the supporters were forcing their way into the collation hall. But what happened next will remain a black day in the political history of Techiman South. This video shows protest from the crowd. Then the shooting starts. A journalist who witnessed the shooting from the front of the collation center gave this narration.
The police started the warning shots, then the military also complied. So some of the guns were pointed upwards and some to, through the crowd. I saw one guy lying down here. Blood was oozing from the nose and the eyes. At that time, he was breathing very slowly. So in about our time that we understood there were many, supporters being victimized through gunshot.
A closer and critical look at this video, which marked the beginning of the firing of warning shots, showed the crowd retreating. Whilst many of the personnel are seen firing into the air, this officer in seeming police-colored uniform is seen aiming at the crowd. Another amateur video captures the fleeting moment when shots were fired into the crowd and the moment when some supporters were seen lying motionless on the ground. We tried to slow the video to pay attention to detail. Here, it reveals many of the security personnel firing their guns into the air. But this military officer fires directly into the crowd. The originator of the video is heard saying some are dead and then laughs as the video ends. At this point, the crowd is stunned. Some are seen carrying the injured to safety. This woman seen here in the video helping lift a fallen supporter describes that moment.
Ye kasi ebone patu mintimi nchena menaso mintimi nya me ho hwe ntitama me kwa paja no odi tuo no yes ana me sa kwoto me paja na mrente me be so no se maami mayenjo mayenso no mo paja na wawu.
18-year-old Abdullah Ayarik, an apprentice in the street lighting business, and Muhammad Tajuddin, 41, a father of 4, were killed. 9 others sustained various degrees of injuries. Reporting for JoyNews, Erastus Asaredonko.
Lawyers for the 6 Ghanaians say their clients deserve compensation because they were rendered injured through no fault of theirs. Abraham Maliba is a member of the legal team. Let's go through the suit and demands being made by the families. Mr. Maliba.
Well, thank you for having me. The suit is divided into 2. There are those who are injured. Their action is different from those who died. And so for the 2 dead persons, we are talking about Abdallah Ayarik and Tajuddin Mohammed. In respect of them, we are seeking compensation to the tune of 10 million Ghana cedis for each. In respect of the injured persons, various sums of money ranging from the degree of injuries they have sustained. So in one case, we are asking for 5 million. There's also 3 million, and I think there's a further 2 million. So this is the way the suit has been structured.
So do you have a date for court? Have there been any response?
So this action was filed sometime in June this year. I'm aware that the Attorney General, together with the Inspector General of Police, have been served. They have filed their affidavit in opposition. The courts are on recess. When the courts come back from recess, that will be on the 1st of October, we will file a supplementary affidavit, and then the matter will be ripe for hearing at the Winchi High Court.
All right. So what can you say generally about how the families are taking this, especially the delays in getting justice?
The families were disappointed when the president, in his acceptance speech, after he was declared as the winner of the 2020 elections, failed to pass any comments regarding the brutalities that took place in Techiman South. The families were again disappointed when the president had the opportunity to address Parliament on the State of the Nation address, failed to also mention the killings and the brutalities perpetrated by state agents against the people of Techiman South. And so based on the two occasions that they failed to hear from the president, they then instructed us to proceed to court. I can tell you how, for instance, the mother of Tajuddin Mohammed is so devastated, as well as the wife of Tajuddin Mohammed, I think, yes, it is Tajuddin Mohammed, who has, I think, 3 other children who are attending school, and he was the breadwinner. And so this killing has actually affected their families. Those who are injured, there was one who was shot directly in his arm. That arm now has become useless. He can no longer use it for what he used to work, when he used to work anyway. So that is how the situation looks like, and they are devastated.
Some MPs petitioned Shraj on this same matter. Last week. Do you know if Shraj has responded yet to this?
Not that I know, and maybe if there's any response at all, they will direct it to the MPs who directly petition. But as I speak now, I'm not in a position to answer that.
So how do you intend to push for this compensation you're looking for your client?
Well, we think that the judiciary is there to ensure justice for all manner of persons. And we are confident that the Techiman High Court will do the needful. I must say that we are prepared to go to the extent of going as far as to Arusha, Tanzania, if we don't get the justice that we need here in Ghana. But for now, we have the confidence in the justice delivery system. And so we would push our case in court and then leave the rest to the court to decide for it.
I'm grateful for your time, and I wish you all the best in the case. Abraham Amaliba is a member of the legal team for 6 persons who some were injured, one died in the 2020 elections in Techiman.